Wow. Split the series. Split the series, but it is what it is. I mean, bats fell asleep, unfortunately. And I had a feeling this was going to happen. I said this a few days ago that if the Yankees fall asleep, then they'll probably split the series. And that's exactly what they did the last 2 days. Even though Chad Green gave up a home run to Kemp that spoiled Montgomery's gem, the bats still did nothing. I mean, Stanton had 2 hits today. Gardner had a hit. Tyler Wade had a hit. So right, kind of across the board, but nothing. Gallo had a hit too, but not a balanced attack, not an aggressive attack at all from the lineup. So unfortunately, and the Yankees wound up losing 3-1. I mean, Montgomery, he threw 6 innings, gave up 1 run, but it was not an earned run, and on a fielder's choice. And the Yankees also scored an unearned run. Rizzo, it was a fielding error by Matt Chapman, allowed a Yankee Gary Sanchez to score. So neither runs were earned runs. And it is what it is. It's and one of the things that I worried about is when I want to turn this winning streak into a losing streak. Tampa Bay won today 12-8, so the Yankees also lost another game. So I think they're 5.5 out now. And looking at the schedule here, who do they have? I mean, they have Toronto next, I think, right? No, the Angels, excuse me. Corey Kluber's on the mound tomorrow for the first time in like 3 months. So we'll see what happens there. But the Yankees need to win these games. And again, it can't turn a 13-game winning streak into a 5 or 6 or 7-game losing streak. This is what the Yankees have to come back and rebound. This is why I said a more consistent attack from the offense, doing things. And, even though they just were not able to touch the A's, the last two starters from the A's. And again, leaving guys on base is problematic for the Yankees. They leave guys on base when they win. They leave a lot more guys on base when they lose, unfortunately. And this has been a problem all year. I mean, I do, and some people have made the point, and I do agree with it. Potentially, perhaps a prototypical leadoff hitter would be good for the Yankees to get after this year. And instead of kind of playing guys out of position, out of lineup spot and whatnot. So, but this is going to keep happening, I think, leaving guys on base. And, appreciate it, Davey. Appreciate it, man. Thanks so much, bro. I appreciate that. And I'm gonna keep putting them out, bro. I'm gonna keep putting them out. So I hope you enjoyed them. Yeah, and this was a winnable game. But, again, guys in the bullpen, Green and Loizaga have been throwing a lot lately. So this was bound to happen too. They were bound to lose, get hit. But can't put it only on him. The bats need to score runs, man. They only scored 1 run, and yesterday they scored 2. So, and both games were winnable, but bats just did not come through, unfortunately. And, again, the Yankees need to rebound tomorrow and win the series with the Angels. They took the series split, and, I had a feeling that was going to happen because in the case of, guys being left on base and not capitalizing on opportunities. So, too many. This is a huge problem for the Yankees. And they have the talent and the lineup and stuff like that, but they have not been clicking on all cylinders yet. There's been inconsistency here. These guys are hot. These guys are cold. These guys are hot. These guys are cold. And it keeps happening. But if guys are on second, or even guys on first, we need to move them over. Guys on second, we need to move them over. They have to manufacture runs more. And the guys that they brought in, Rizzo and Gallo, they're mostly power guys. They're not contact guys like this. It's not a Taillon Marte. It's not a Brian Reynolds. I remember I brought both those guys up, at the trading deadline. Neither one of them got moved, but those are the types of guys, particularly Brian Reynolds, that would be a perfect fit here because he could be a prototypical leadoff hitter. He could be a run manufacturer. He can do a lot of things. So can Taillon. But we'll see what Cashman does this offseason. I'm really, really curious to see. And that was pretty much it for the game. There was nothing else to report. The Yankees got like 5 hits. A's got 7. And too many guys left on base. Too many guys. And, again, spoiling a good outing by Jordan Montgomery, who's shown himself, again, to be, a consistent starter here and ready for the playoffs. The Yankees have to make the playoffs. I know they're ahead in the wild card, but this is not the time to lose ground in the wild card. They lost the game in NL East division standings today. This is not the time to lose in the wild card standings, okay? And it's unfortunate. So they got to do something here. They got to do something. And, Unfortunately, not the way any of us wanted to end this series. And this is again where leaving these guys on base and the game's tied towards the latter part of the game. Even though the Yankees have the best record in baseball in 1 or 2 run games, it's not that way when they're tied in the 8th inning and tied in the 9th inning. The record's not the same. And they don't lead in baseball in comeback wins and all that stuff. They just lead them in 1 to 2 run games, having been already in the lead for most of the game. These are the types of games where they struggle still, and it's unfortunate. I don't know. I'm confident they can make the wild card. The division frightens me more. The Yankees have a relatively light schedule, but then so does Tampa Bay. So, and again, I don't see them slowing down. And it looks like they play the freaking Baltimore Orioles every other game. So that that I don't know how that happens, but giving them the crappy teams almost on a regular basis. But in order for the Yankees to win the division, they're going to have to be within 1 game, I think, when they play that Tampa Bay in that 3-game series at the end of the season. They have to be within 1 game. And other than that, I can't see it. So I'm really hoping that Corey Kluber comes out tomorrow and maybe gives him, maybe 4 or 5 innings. And then maybe they bring in Andrew Heaney to throw a couple innings as well to keep him active and keep him going. Because he has been pitching better lately. So, Boone has talked about a 6-man rotation, so heading into the playoffs, which I think would be good to it allows them to kind of keep Heaney on a rotation, ease Kluber in, and and not tax the other guys too much. So, but again, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's on to Anaheim now. Let's start a new winning streak. That's the way I look at it. I mean, we could be, we're disappointed. Yeah, we're bummed out. I think the Yankees should have won that series, but they didn't. I thought they were going to split. I had mentioned it a couple of days ago. But it is what it is now. Play some better baseball against Anaheim. And, and I do, one plug, I think Luis Hill will probably be, he was one of my picks for the roster expansion call-ups, him and Greg Allen. We'll see what the Yankees do. We'll know in like a week. Actually, not a week, a couple of days. And who the Yankees are going to bring up when they expand the rosters to 28. And we'll see who they do. I don't know. I mean, who is Carlos Correa? Anthony Correa. I mean, it depends on what the Yankees have some decisions to make this offseason. They have to decide what to do with Luke Voit, and that will help them decide what to do with Anthony Rizzo. And then I think they need to make a decision at shortstop, whether it's going to be Torres, if they're going to commit to him there, or if they're not, then what are they going to do? And I don't see them, if they do sign somebody, I think it'll be probably Corey Seager because he's lefty and younger. But then again, they have, 2 really, really high prospects, Anthony Volpe and, oh my God, I forgot the other guy. I'm drawing a blank. Oswald Peraza, excuse me. And they're highly rated infield prospects. So I can also see them not signing somebody long-term so that they can move these guys up and get them into the major leagues. So they have a couple of decisions. He has a couple of decisions to make, Cashman. So I'm really curious to see what he does in the next, in the offseason. And he does a lot more in the offseason than he does at the deadline. Even though this was a really, really active deadline, he did not bring in a prototypical leadoff guy or a high contact guy. So he still needs one of those. And we'll see what he does. So hopefully, because that'll throw the dynamic in the lineup as well. So Kershaw, well, daily dose, that would be great, but unfortunately, I don't think it's possible. LA traded for Scherzer with the understanding that he's going to get an extension with them. And I could see Kershaw just doing another 2 or 3 year deal with the Dodgers to stay there with Scherzer. That's my opinion. I'd be surprised if something other happened, but if the Yankees got one or both of them, I'd be dancing in the streets. I'd streak through the quad with Will Ferrell from Old School. That's for sure. That would be freaking awesome. But I would look more for a guy like Carlos Rodon or Robbie Ray or something like that, and for the Yankees to go after this offseason. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't see Kluber coming back, and I'm not sure what's going to happen with Severino. He'd be better off in the bullpen, but because he keeps getting hurt. So, but it is what it is, and Yankees got to rebound from this and just keep him moving. Yeah, I mean, it is normal to overreact. They played a lot worse in the last 2 games. That's right, Jay Dilla. In the last 2 games than they did the first 2. It is what it is. I mean, they have to look behind. They have to, put it behind them and just rebound and go after Anaheim and play some better baseball. So it is what it is. They did lose a game in the standings to Tampa, but that's baseball. That's the standing. So they just got to keep moving forward. And they are ahead in the wild card. So at the very least, they stay there and they keep trying to move up in the standings. But, Anthony, I don't think they're going to sign Correa. I'd be surprised. If they did, then that tells me that they're giving up on Correa. They're giving up on Glaber, and they don't think Volpe and Peraza are going to be potential long-term options in New York. So I would be surprised, because then they would have to move DJ to second and keep Gio third, but they would still have to decide what to do with Voit or Rizzo. Voigt's there for 3 more years on the cheap. Rizzo's going to cost money. So they have a couple of big decisions to make, and it's going to kind of affect the team across the board. And we'll see what happens. Peter, Luis Castillo would be nice. He would be nice. He'd be a big get for the Yankees, and that's the player I could see them. If they move Voit, it's got to be for somebody like that. Has to be. Can't be for somebody just like a reliever or whatever. It's got to be for a frontline starter like that. If they were going to move either Voit or Torres, it's got to be for someone like that. No excuses. No exceptions. But it is what it is. They tied. Series is tied. Oakland are a good team. They're not scrubs. So, the Angels are not as good as the A's, but I wouldn't sleep on them. They still have firepower in that lineup. So I wouldn't take them lightly at all. And I wouldn't be surprised daily if they let Rizzo walk. I would not be surprised at all, because he is going to cost between 17 and 20 million a year, probably for 3 or 4 years. So, and use that money for the rotation. I agree. And they still have Chris Gittens at first base and hitting balls over the roofs, over buildings in AAA. So they do have a legitimate backup at first base to Voit. And I don't want to forget about him either. If they moved on from Boone, I don't know, man. I mean, because all the guys that I would think of are already managing other teams, so I don't see any manager free agents like a Joe Madden or something like that. I don't see it. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to get back to you on that one. It's really, I really would have to get back to you on that one. But Boone, I don't think Boone's going anywhere. I don't. They make the playoffs. I don't see him going anywhere. Cashman either. But Rizzo is definitely a Gold Glove, man, 100%. Although he's been a little off defensively the last couple of games, but he's a Gold Glove, no doubt about it. He's got a better glove than Voit. Voigt's got a better high end on the bat than Rizzo. So combination of the two would be perfect. Yeah, I agree. Disgruntled. I think Boone is the manager for the foreseeable, 100%. His temperament and his even keel kind of persona is, I think, ideal for this particular Yankees team, especially since they don't have much vocal leadership, aside with the exception of Cole and maybe Rizzo. So, Torres went 1 for 2. Yeah, but decent. They're gonna put him in 3 rehab games. So, and he'll be back. We'll see what happens here. And COVID effect. Yeah, it could be. It could be a COVID effect. I mean, it has different effects on different players and different people. It's got long-term, beat you up, long-term, beat you up, short-term. So everybody's different. It's not good to get it. So I don't think they're going to go after Trevor Story, Peter. The lineups are already too righty. I don't see it. But we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to keep it short tonight. And so I got an early day tomorrow, but I have a cool video coming out for you tomorrow morning, so you're not going to want to miss that. Appreciate you guys coming on. Then enjoy your night, guys. I'm in my new house, so I still have a lot of boxes to unpack. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning and tomorrow night. Over and out.